Well, hello there, Internet. I'm just gonna make a video doing something a little bit different. Actually, a lot of things different. Just even from the camera I'm using. Tonight I'm shooting this on my Sony 4K Handycam. It's got some kind of Zeiss lens on it. I bought it last year. I used it once, and I put it back into its camera bag and kind of forgot about it. Left it on the couch and then just buried it in, you know, clean laundry and guitars. But I've been having some problems. I guess I got a virus in my computer, and then the virus from the computer got into my iPhone somehow, and I kind of got the virus out of the computer with a little help from one of my favorite IT professionals. Although I think at this point I have to marry her for doing that, you know, for me. And I think I might actually even owe her a kidney and my firstborn. But it seems that the computer has gotten fixed. It's just the iPhone is, I don't know what's up with the iPhone. It just doesn't seem to be working. Today got 2 text messages from Southwest Airlines for some woman who was leaving Albany Airport at like 10:30, then transferring down in like Washington, D.C., and then heading to West Palm, Florida, which I'm like, Jesus, I wish I'd have got this, 2 hours earlier, because I could have been on the plane instead of her, and I could be in West Palm right now. But I'm not that motivated to get out of the snow, even though right now the snow here is coming down in buckets, and driving conditions are just outrageous. But anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about tonight is a subject I usually don't talk about, and that's politics. And I'm not a big political junkie. I mean, I watch my YouTube videos, and sometimes I listen to talk radio, and I can go one way or the other. I can swing to the left or I can swing to the right, because everybody knows I go both ways. So I do have a little bit of an issue with Whoopi Goldberg. The other day, Whoopi was on The View, and I don't know, she was talking to that lady who looks like Bette Midler. I don't know what her name is, but she kind of looks like Bette Midler. And they were all just kind of like sitting around, they're basically a coffee klatch, kvetching about everything that's going on, hating on Donald Trump and anything Republican and whatever. And that's cool, because that's what the angle of that show is. I don't have any problem with that. And sometimes I like watching that show because of the perspective they bring to it. But she said something about our new U.S. representative from down in the Bronx, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, and she basically told Alexandria to sit down and learn the job, which I think is completely unfair. Alexandria is now getting attacked from both sides, the left and the right, and I just think it's completely unfair. First of all, she's hot. So I don't think anybody should be attacking her, okay? I love Puerto Rican girls from New York City, because growing up, many of the young ladies that I dated were Puerto Rican girls from, the Bronx or Brooklyn or New York City. One girl from the Bronx in particular, I'll never forget her. Her name was Marisol. Anyway, I won't go into it, but damn, it was something else. But I just, it really irks me that they're attacking this poor young woman. I mean, why? Because she's hot? I mean, sure, she's as dumb as a box of rocks, but she's hot. I mean, that's the thing that's the best about her. That's why I would have voted for her. She's hot. Who wants to see some old freaking ugly white-haired white guy, in Congress, when we have this show going on now, And then, of course, on the right, they put out a video of her doing a little video that I guess she and a bunch of her friends from college put together, and it's them all dancing around to, I don't know, some song. I think it was like Litzamania or some crap like that. Not my favorite kind of music, but they did a little video, and they're all wearing their like Boston University regalia. And, Alex, I mean, she's shaking her hair around like a stripper, and she's wearing a tight short skirt, and she's wearing a tight Boston University t-shirt. And I got to tell you, the chick's got a great rack, which, there's nothing wrong with it. But the right-wingers were like, oh, here's her, dancing around like a stripper. And I'm like, well, that's cool. Strippers are cool. I mean, most of my old girlfriends were strippers. There was an old saying back in Brooklyn, if you went out with Rob, you either is, you was, or you was gonna one day become a stripper. And I have really a soft spot in my heart, as well as other places, for girls who are dancers, and I think it's an honest way to make a living. And maybe Alex one day will, when she's no longer serving the public in Congress, she'll have a happy future in a entertainment profession. But I just think that her dancing in a video really should not be politicized. She was in college, and what does it prove? It proves that, one, she's really hot. Two, she's got a great rack. Three, she likes to dance, and four, she likes music. And also five, she went to Boston University, which I think is a pretty prestigious, college to go to. And she recently, she won the primary in the Bronx, and, she beat out some old white guy who was, pretty powerful guy in the House of Representatives. He was one of Pelosi's friends and Barbara Boxer's friends, and I think they're a little bit ticked off that, a hot young girl is now getting all up in their shit. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She has no more face to lift. And Barbara Boxer is just basically, Barbara Boxer reminds me of that like fourth grade teacher who really hated children but just kept teaching because she had tenure and she had nothing else better to do with her life. And I think we should give Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, or as they called her in a high school yearbook, which she didn't go to school in the Bronx. She went in Westchester, and she went, there wasn't a lot of minorities in her school. I mean, I think she was probably one of the few Hispanic women in her school. But, hey, I'll cut her some slack, Westchester's not all that far from the Bronx, I gotta tell you the truth. And if you lived in Westchester, all the cool clubs were in the Bronx. So, for all intents and purposes, she was probably a short train ride on Metro North or whatever the hell it's called, down to the Bronx. And, sure, she comes off a little bit like Jenny from the block. But hey, who doesn't love Jenny from the block? And now, I don't like what she's done with the hair, with the straight, longer look. I think she should maybe cut it up and, I don't know, layer it out a little bit. And I don't like the part, down the right of center. Of course, I really think she should part it left of center because that's where her political leanings lie. And I don't like the frumpy, Hillary Clinton-esque business suits. What I really think she should do is, get something a little more low cut. And this is my advice to you, Alex. I'm not telling anyone what to do, but, Alex, if you want to keep your viewing audience and constituents happy, do something a little more low cut, maybe a little cleavage, and those skirts, just get back to the, above the knee, maybe in a pencil skirt, some 4-inch heels, but don't give up and don't stop believing, because I do think that you will make a change for the world, really. I think a 70% tax rate on people who make more than $10 million a year is a great idea. Maybe that's why Whoopi is telling her to sit down and learn the job, because Whoopi probably makes $10 million a year, and at a 70% tax rate, Whoopi would only be clearing $3 million. Now, if they were taxing someone who made, say, $100,000 at a 70% tax rate, that means they would only be making clearing $30,000, which is what somebody making minimum wage would gross a year, you know, give or take here or there. I mean, it doesn't take much to do the math. Well, that's only if the minimum wage was $15 an hour, which Alexandria went to visit her coffee shop, which had to close down because of two reasons. One, the rent in New York City is just frigging outrageous. And two, they raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour there. And they had to start getting rid of people. So basically, democratic socialism and a $15 an hour minimum wage has actually caused businesses to close. So, I don't know, Alex. Maybe you might want to rethink your standpoint on a couple of small issues. But the one thing I got to tell you is, you look hot, you got a great rack, and hey, let's make America sexy again. AOC for President 2020. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.